Welcome everybody. Welcome in the Charlemagne building in the center of Brussels. I'm truly delighted to co-organize this event together with Council of Europe and be able to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Data Protection Day. The Data Protection Day has been established in 2006 by the Council of Europe to commemorate the anniversary of the opening for signature of the Council of Europe Convention 108, the first legally binding instrument in the world which was dealing with the protection of the personal data. Convention 108 was, as you know, modernized in 2018 to deal with the new challenges resulting from the use of the new information and communication technologies and to strengthen the convention effective implementation. In 2026, we are also going to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the adoption of General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR. During this year, we will be discussing the question of GDPR modernization in light of digital omnibus proposal that was put forward by the Commission last November. It is never an easy task to modernize the legal instrument, especially when it forms part of the very foundation of the data protection law in Europe and beyond. Today's event will be an opportunity to discuss whether and how we can modernize without compromising the core principles, and to simplify the law, the existing rules, while maintaining strong safeguards for individuals. As the data protection community, we should also reflect on how the Europe normative model can continue to inspire the human-centric digital future. That will be the main main theme of today's conference. I'm very pleased to welcome each of the experts who decided to be with us on this day, but especially three outstanding keynote speakers. That's Beatriz de Ancorena, who is the head of the Agency for Access to Public Information in Argentina, Argentinian Data Protection Authority, and at the same time, she is the current chair of the Committee of the Convention 108 of Council of Europe. Moreover, Beatriz got the award named after my predecessor, Giovanni Buttarelli, from the Global Privacy Assembly last year for her all-international activities. The second keynote speaker is Jelena Virant-Burnik, who is the Information Commissioner of Republic of Slovenia and the Deputy Chair of the European Data Protection Board, who plays an enormous role in the interpretation of the European data protection law. And we will have Professor Anu Bradford, who kindly offered us to share with us the video message, since she could not be here in person. The video will focus on the false choice between the digital regulation and innovation. For those of you who don't remember, Anu Bradford is the person who published the book on Brussels effect, and is one of the inventor of the idea of Brussels effect. Today's event is structured in around four main topics, and that will be four main panels that we will be dealing with. We will start with diving deep into the fundamental question, what is the personal data? As you know, the debate is revived again after the Court of Justice judgments, especially the one which EDPS was also involved in, EDPS and SRB. The second panel of the day will explore how the Convention 108 Plus fits into the international regulatory framework on the data protection, including its potential to provide the legal playing field for on the international level to be at least the vocabulary for the data protection law on international level. The third panel will offer different perspectives on the reform of the protection of the personal data in the European Union. We will talk about simplification, modernization, but first of all, on the principles and the way to keep them alive. The last panel will focus on the protection of the confidentiality of communication and the terminal equipment, and how to set the best address the constantly evolving practices and technologies in the area of online tracking. The discussion will not only take place in the stage, all participants will be invited to share their insights and questions following each of the conversations. Our Master of Ceremony will tell you more about the side events which are going on together with this conference. Let me say a few personal insights on today's conference before we would dive in. First of all, I would like to remind that effective enforcement of the data protection rules is, in the digital world, is not only the institutional mission of EDPS, it's also the topic which requires constant reflection and open exchanges. And this is what we do today. This is what we did also yesterday. Those of you who are taking part in yesterday's event, which was devoted to the digital clearinghouse idea and idea of cross-regulatory cooperation, know how we try to keep the discussion on the cooperation in between the regulators. My second message is that simplification that we are talking about should not be the euphemism for deregulation. The narrative that GDPR compliance constitutes some disproportionate burden and prevents competitiveness is not the new thing. That's an old song, and yet, in less than 10 years, GDPR became the gold standard in the field of data protection, not only for the European level, but worldwide. GDPR is more than the regulatory instrument. It's anchored in the Articles 7 and 8 of the Charter of Fundamental Rights and cannot be compromised in the context of reform debates. I'm personally convinced that simplification is a mean, not an end. I believe that in these uncertain times we are living in, the protection of the personal data becomes more and more important, and it's more important than ever. The role of the data protection extends far beyond the realm of privacy, and indeed it often becomes the safeguard of the democracy itself. Against this background, I take an opportunity of this conference to once again call for the rapid entry into force of Convention 108+. We are still missing 5 ratifications to have it on, and in my opinion, this is condition sine qua non for the further development of the world's international point of view on the data protection. Thank you very much for the attention, and successful and happy Data Protection Day. I hope we will have the good conference.